the rest of the mitosis video before I got cut off there. Remember, we were talking about telophase, and I said that TE, if you remember, telophase starts with a TE. You can remember TE for the end, the last one, and it's the opposite of prophase. In prophase, the nuclear membrane goes away. Here, the nuclear membrane starts to come back. In prophase, the spindle fibers were starting to appear. Now they're starting to disappear. Here, they're still in that picture, but eventually by the end, they'll be gone. And the chromosomes start to uncoil back into chromosomes. They spread out again. It looks a little different in a plant cell and an animal cell. So here, this is an animal cell. And it looks different because cytokinesis is different. In an animal cell, the cell membrane pinches in and you get two cells. So you can see you get this, it's called a cleavage furrow here, where the cell membrane pinches in and the one cell becomes two separate cells. In a plant cell, that doesn't happen. The cell just gets two clumps of DNA here, makes the nuclear membrane around them, and then it starts to build a cell wall in between, and then it's called a cell plate. So it'll build the cell membrane and the cell wall for a plant in between those two cells. But here with this animal cell, it pinches in. But you can see it in the cell, you've got a nucleus here and a nucleus over here, cell membrane pinching in, and then here, nucleus over here, and this cell hasn't started to build the cell membrane and the cell wall yet. So telophase and cytokinesis are going to happen at the same time. Right, so cytokinesis is the last phase of the cell cycle. It divides the cytoplasm. Let's come back to this idea. We talked about this in the last unit. We said that cells have exactly the same DNA. When you get done with mitosis, hopefully if DNA replication was okay and you divided your chromosomes correctly, you've got two identical cells, 46 chromosomes in each of them, and they're exactly the same. But you have lots of different cells in your body that do lots of different things. You've got nerve cells, muscle cells, immune cells, but they all have exactly the same DNA. So do you remember why is it they have different functions? Remember that is, let me see if I can get my slides to work over here. That is because of cell differentiation. What we have made at the end of mitosis is a stem cell. And that stem cell can become any cell in your body depending on what genes get turned on and what genes get turned off. So here my little blue line is supposed to represent DNA. And it's got these 4 genes on it: gene 1, gene 2, gene 3, and gene 4. Well, in this cell, gene 1 is turned on, but 2 and 3 are turned off, and gene 4 is turned on. So that means when it does protein synthesis, that cell is only gonna synthesize proteins for genes that are turned on. So this cell will make protein 1. Remember, it turns it into mRNA. mRNA goes to the ribosome, and you make that protein. And it's going to make the protein for gene number 4 because it's on. But these genes aren't turned on, so that protein won't ever get made. So maybe that's a stomach cell, and you're making like pepsinogen and stomach acid and mucus, all the things that your stomach needs. But in your nerve cells, you don't want to make that. So maybe you turn gene 1 off and gene 4 off, and you turn these 2 genes on to make some of the neurotransmitters that a nerve cell needs to make. So you have exactly the same DNA in all the cells of your body. It's just that you have different genes turned on and turned off in different cells.